The majority of child labor around the world is in agriculture, over 70%. Each day, there's an option, a choice that a parent has to make. Food on the table, spend money and send my child to school. Food on the table. I've been working on child labor issues pretty much since the late 70s. Initially, I started out working with migrant and seasonal farm worker, low-income migrant workers and their families. It was my first exposure to child labor, was in agriculture, and kids working with migrant families who were traveling from Latin America into the United States. Change takes time. We are talking about addressing the root causes of poverty, the issues impacting third world country with dealing with its problems of poverty, its problems of education, its development of infrastructure. None of these can be done overnight. So part of this work that we're about with the International Cocoa Verification Board is to create an environment so that children have a voice in cocoa growing communities by ensuring that they have access to education, that they have access to the resources that should be made available to them to be able to live a full and complete life without risk to their health and safety. Now, a lot of people say there's a real disconnect between the ICVB and that happening, but I really don't think so, because the governments are doing certification. They're going out, as they should, to determine exactly what's happening in their communities throughout their country, because there's many people who don't trust that a government is going to say what's really happening, that you have to create another body who can come and look and see and verify that the certification activities, that the information that's produced by the government is actually true and correct. Part of the process that we wanted to establish is to identify truly independent organizations who could assist us in the verification process. We developed an exhaustive list of exactly what it is that we wanted, the qualifications for the organizations, to have the research capability and capacity, to partner with local organizations in country, to add the perspective of the understanding of the culture and the communities and the multiple languages, because there are 80+ languages in Ghana and 60+ languages in Côte d'Ivoire. So it was very critical that you have and build a partnership with local entities who can do a lot of the on-the-ground work. We determined that there were two critical organizations who brought together, actually created the best possible combination of all of those skills that we were looking for. FAFO, which is based in Norway, and COLISA, which is based in South Africa. The two organizations, the combination of their skills plus the local partners, one organization, Research International in Côte d'Ivoire, and HEDGE in Ghana, we created an entity by the combination of the multifaceted skills that made it a superior group to do the verification process. The strengths of FAFO with their extensive worldwide research skills and capabilities and methodologies, their ability to look at methodology and sampling methods and designs, because they've done research for World Bank and Oxfam and UNICEF and all of the major players. Then you had COLISA with their data quality review. And then they brought in with them the network of the two organizations who have the local field capacity in country And then you have the internal peer review process that's created. So while CALISA is doing the data quality review, they complete their work, and FAFO does the internal peer review to review the work that they've done to ensure that it is accurate and that it is correct. The strategy that we required within the scope of work of the contract, as well as what we stipulated within the RFP, is that they have to use child-centered interview methodologies and participatory practices to engage the community in collecting information. So the verifiers will be applying those techniques and methods in their interviewing process to collect information. That ensures that you engage the children, that you engage the community, that you engage farmers, community leaders, tribal chiefs, that they're all engaged in the process. They are people who are from the community, okay, who know the communities, who are Ghanaian or Ivorian, who speak the local languages, so they're not having to have a translator. They're going in looking to identify whether or not there is child labor, if there is forced adult labor, if children are being trafficked into the communities, if so, from where, who is doing the trafficking, what's happening to the children while they're in those communities. We can say, I want this changed and I want it done now, but that doesn't mean that you're going to change attitudes in rural agricultural communities in West Africa, where it's a given and expected, and that children are going to work and that they're going to do exactly what the parents say regardless. Even the most progressive countries, I mean, the United States has problems in child labor in agriculture, and we have billions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars that's thrown at the issue every day, yet we still have 500,000 kids working in agriculture illegally. It takes time to do the types of international development that's needed to build the infrastructure, to improve the quality of education, and to change attitudes amongst parents and farmers and children themselves who don't like school because of their prior experience. So it takes time to work and develop to create an environment where you can have real sustainable change.